Hey everyone, how's it going? First and foremost, I want to make sure everybody can hear me. So if you guys can hear me, give me a thumbs up, comment, let me know what's going on because we've had some awesome, I shouldn't say awesome, I should say awful um, technical difficulties as of late. And ladies and gentlemen, I truly apologize. You guys can hear me? Okay, good. I got my little zebra background and I also have my little microphone now. So is it working? Yes, thank you, Lake Superior Girl. Lake Superior Girl, thank you guys. So it's good to be with you guys. I've taken a little hiatus because the technical difficulties that I had the other night was pretty embarrassing. I actually put a lot of work into that podcast, and it just came out atrocious, really. And I don't blame people for taking off. And I was reading the comments. I saw that people were saying this is horrible. So hopefully this one will be better tonight. I want to welcome everybody. Happy Valentine's Day to all you lovers out there. Hopefully you got some chocolates and some flowers from your significant others. Glam Dolly wants to know if it's a hair dryer or a microphone. It actually doubles as both. See, I can like blow dry my hair with it and talk into it all at the same time. So technology nowadays, the stuff they're coming out with is amazing. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I'm glad you're here tonight. This is kind of an impromptu live. I don't plan on doing them all like this, but the reason I did it like this tonight, because I wasn't sure if it was going to work. I wasn't sure if I was going to have my technology up and running. So, looks like we're good to go on my end. Now, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get the daughters of the missing woman from Colorado. Her name is Marlena Mizell, I believe is how you say that. And she's missing from South Fork, Colorado. And this comment right here on the screen is actually her daughter, Sarah, and she's going to be joining us soon as well. We're trying to get them all squared away on their end, but and also Megan's been over here trying to get hooked up as well, but we're having issues with her audio. So anyway, I want to thank them for coming on here tonight and joining us. Hopefully we can go make this happen without any hitches. But first and foremost, I want to give you kind of a little background on this case that we're talking about. It's unfortunate that we have another missing woman out of southern Colorado. It's just crazy how much has been going on up there lately. If you're not familiar with where South Fork is, it's just above Pagosa Springs, right up Wolf Creek Pass. As you look at the map, you'll see you cross over Wolf Creek Pass and you drop into a small little town called South Fork. And I guess their mom, who's originally from Texas, and that's where they're living now, the two daughters, but her boyfriend, fiance, whatever he is, he had a job up there and convinced her to move up there. And that's where they've been for the last few months. And Megan was up there for Christmas. She's going to be coming on here telling us more about that. So in the meantime, I don't see them joining me up yet. So I'm going to go in here and just kind of show you guys a little bit about this case. I'm going to show you the missing persons flyer. I can go ahead and put that up so you guys will have a better understanding of what I'm talking about here. So Marlena Mizell, age 49, hair dark brown, eyes light blue, height 5'3", weight 140. And if you can't see that, I'll read it for you. It says, on January 2nd, 2021, around noon, Marlena Mizell walked into the Rainbow grocery store located in South Fork, Colorado, and purchased less than $10 of items. That was the last confirmed sighting of Marlena, and she has not been heard from since. Her cell phone pinged near Dulce, New Mexico for the last time later that day, which is around 44 miles from her last known location. Marlena was wearing a black one-piece pant jumpsuit and no coat at the time of her disappearance. She was traveling in her blue 2012 four-door Ford Focus, bearing the license plate number, Texas license plate number NMK6502, which also remains missing. So not only is she missing, but her car is also missing. And there's a picture of it right there with Texas license plates. So if we have anybody who's joining us tonight from Southern Colorado or anywhere in Colorado or New Mexico, keep your eye out for that car. It's very noticeable. It's a real dark blue Ford. Here's another picture of it. And it looks like on the driver's side, it has the hubcaps, but on the passenger side, the hubcaps are missing. So that's another thing we can be on the lookout for. So anyway, that's her car. And it looks like Sarah is here. I'm going to pull her on here and see if we can, her daughter Sarah, if we can hear her. We had a hard time hearing Megan, so let's see what happens here. Keep your fingers crossed, everybody. Is here. I'm going to pull her on here and see if we can. Hi, Sarah. Can you hear me?
Hi.
We had a hard time hearing Megan, so let's see what happens here. Keep your fingers crossed, everybody.
I'm like hearing multiple voices.
Hi, Sarah. Okay. Well, what you need to do is close out your YouTube.
Oh.
Because it's giving you an echo. Can you hear me better now?
Yeah, I was hearing like multiple voices at the same time. Like I thought it was from the phone. I actually have Megan on the phone still in case she wants to pop in and say something, or I could repeat what she says.
Well, you can go ahead and have her log in, and then we'll try to bring her on as well. But she said that you guys had a conversation about what we had talked about prior, and that you guys were comfortable with sharing the entire story with everybody, so everybody kind of has an idea what happened with your mom going missing. And by the way, first and foremost, I offer you my sincere concern and love as your mom's missing. We've been dealing with these cases, actually one right outside of Colorado, or outside of where your mom went missing in Salida.
Yeah.
So
yeah. We definitely read up about like every single case, like literally within that first week, just to kind of get an idea of that area since we had never really been there much. So,
okay. Well, why don't we Sarah, why don't we just do this? Why don't we just start from the top and you just tell our viewers and everybody exactly what happened? Just as much as you would like to share, I give you the floor. I give you this platform and say whatever you want to say. So.
I'm Sarah again, and basically what we know as far as we know is what he read off of the paper for the most part, that she went missing on January 2nd. No funds were spent since then. Nothing has been pulled from her bank since then. No extra cars that she had, no credit cards, anything like that. Her phone's been off since that day. Any other devices she has, we know about or whatever. So we've been able to look into or track anything else, and nothing's coming up. I mean, it's, literally without a trace. No trace of her. She didn't leave anything anywhere else. It's just the whole car, everything vanished in the middle of the afternoon. And nobody saw her in either town, in either direction. So the last town that she was seen in was South Fork. And we've kind of laid out sort of a timeline that Megan kind of helped set up with that. And it helped us to kind of get more concrete information on the times. And we had actually thought that the last place that she was seen in the beginning was the gas station. But whenever we did the times and laid everything out and got all that information from the police, we found out that she went there around, what was it, Megan? 10:48. So she's probably, I'm like, pull up that timeline. And then she was seen leaving the lodge at what, 12:30? What was it?
It was, Megan said that it was around 11:50 or 12.
So the lodge owner said it was around 11:50 or 12. So that's the last time she was seen sort of driving by in that area. And nothing, I mean, just nothing since then.
I spoke to Mom at 10:16 on the phone.
Megan's telling me something.
Yeah, we can hear it. Hold it up to the microphone.
All right, go ahead, Megan.
Are y'all able to hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so I actually spoke to my mom at 10:16 on the phone. It was a pretty semi-normal conversation. It only lasted a couple of minutes. But at the very end, she said, "I love you, Megan," in a way that I'm not used to. So that kind of raised some concerns with me. And we have word that our mom at 10:30, so just 15 minutes after she got off the phone with me, went and confronted her fiance and a woman that has now been confirmed as Jennifer, who was having an affair with our mom's fiance. So our mom went outside of the cabin at 10:30 a.m. the day she went missing and confronted this woman and her fiance about the affair that they were caught having. At this point in time, we have not. Sorry, I lost my train of thought.
You're okay, Megan.
At this point in time, we were told this information that the woman by the name of Jennifer left and went to check out her husband in jail the same day our mom disappeared.
In the same time frame too. So
okay, all right.
Yeah.
Can I just interject here for a second? I want to just make some
no problem.
I want to make a couple of clarifications just for our viewers, just to make sure we're all on the same page. So what you're telling me is your mom found out that her fiance was having an affair, and so she, right before she went to confront this mistress, she was talking to you, Megan, on the phone and said, "I love you," in a way that made you kind of feel, it was kind of weird. It wasn't the normal "I love you." It was more, there was more concern, more fear in her voice. Is that what you're telling me?
More like she was about to confront someone. She was about to do something, and she probably would feel bad if she got in trouble for, doing, taking action on something she felt like she needed to do. That's kind of what we thought.
Okay.
Right. It kind of made me feel like she was going to make a decision that probably wasn't the best. I didn't know at the time what that was. But after hearing this, it all made sense. And then at 10:48, like we said earlier, she went to the gas station and she actually purchased a Sprite and a pack of cigarettes, which after something that stressful, of course you'd go do that.
That's what she always did. Same thing she always bought. She was very predictable, very routine. And we knew exactly whenever we found out that amount that she spent, that's exactly what she got. I mean, because that's just what, that's just how she was.
Right.
Yeah.
So. And then she must have gone back to the cabin because, like we said, her neighbor and the previous owner of the Rainbow Lodge, Megan, saw her physically with her own eyes, our mom leaving around 11:58 a.m. So probably around almost an hour after she went to the gas station and got the cigarettes and Sprite. She saw our mom in the car by herself driving out of the Rainbow Lodge. And from there, everyone is unsure of where she went. However, Megan did say that probably around 10 minutes after she saw our mom leaving, Kurt, her fiance, and Jeff, Kurt's friend, and also someone he works with, pulled up into the cabins, and they were talking to Megan about where mom had went.
Megan is the cabin owner, just FYI. She's the one who owns them, and so she was there 24/7, basically. I mean, for the most part, at those cabins.
Okay.
And she was also a friend of our mom's.
Okay. And so Megan was the one that said she actually saw the car leaving around a little after noon. and so she wasn't able to see which direction she head back towards Pagosa Springs, or did she head more towards like Alamosa?
We are not sure of that information.
Yeah, because they said at first that they thought she was headed the direction of Pagosa, which, seeing as you have these pictures, you probably know a little bit of layout of that area. The cabins are like in the center of South Fork. So even if you saw them pass by either direction, if you went in somewhere, they could have easily turned around at some point, or even tried to go back to the cabins, because it's right there in the middle. So you can't really say they're leaving out of town. You know, I guess the cops had the idea that she was leaving out of town, but that doesn't really give that concrete information on that she would be, because of where the lodge is.
Right.
You know, she could have gone up this way, and then, yeah. So that's why we don't completely know that.
Well, and that's why they call it South Fork, is because it's a fork in the road. You know, you got different directions you can go. I'm very familiar with that area. Yeah. And I know, Wolf Creek Pass is in the other direction. And if they found her not found her car, but if they got a ping from her phone toward the direction of Pagosa Springs and even beyond, down towards Dulce, New Mexico, then that tells me that obviously she must have went that way, or at least her phone traveled that way. Is that correct? Right.
Well, and yes, and that's what we suspected as well at first, but I don't know how much you've talked to Megan. We actually went down there, and we've gone, down there 2 times now, and have went all the way to Bloomfield, New Mexico, worked with authorities out there as well, did searches and stuff with them on the Apache land and stuff, since it's private. And I mean, there's no reason that we would have even thought for our mom to be even past Pagosa. So we knew immediately after really filling that place out and getting the layout of the land that she wouldn't have been that way, and that the phone had to have been taken out that way. Her car hasn't been seen that way. We've got them to check the cameras a couple weeks after. There's just no links to her going out there by herself. And it really, just the most rational thing that we can think of it is that the phone was the only thing that maybe was taken that way. And we are still looking to figure out which facility the ex-husband was taken out from, because a couple of them that we looked up and stuff were actually out towards that way. And then there's a couple, I guess, like up towards Colorado Springs or whatever, but they're not all over the place.
Well,
okay.
It's Jennifer's current husband who is incarcerated wherever that may be, but she has an ex-husband in Monte Vista area as well. So there's a lot of people involved in this on her side that we still have no idea where their whereabouts were at that time period. She has not been cleared during that day. We understand that with her fiance having an affair, that a lot of people want to look at him, and it's not that we haven't. However,
our mom's fiance.
People have, our mom's fiance.
And his name's Kurt, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Right.
Okay.
But, the reason why we're looking other places is because he was seen that day. He was moving stuff back and forth. Megan, the property owner of the Rainbow, even confirmed that Kurt and Jeff pulled in almost right after, 10 minutes after mom was seen leaving. And then Megan even said that Kurt stayed in the cabin the rest of the night. And he even stayed up until Monday waiting for our mom to come back, because they were actually supposed to be moving.
Yeah, so even though it's like a typical thing that you look at, which it's not like we didn't either, but it's just that with everything added up and everything we've put together, that's just not really seeming like the most logical, choice. It seems like the easier choice, but it doesn't really seem what's accurate right now. Because there's a lot more information confirming where he was, and there's not as much information confirming everybody else. And apparently all the people in those cabins were having to move out. They were selling them, and I mean, I don't know every single one of them, but most of the ones that were in there, you know, have moved quite a few times. They've kind of popped around and, you know, lived in different places and just, you know, and they all sort of knew each other to an extent, but not a lot of them were fans of my mom, I would say, or really people that she necessarily were trying to hang out with a lot either, just because she felt uncomfortable in a lot of ways.
Right.
So,
right. Okay. So I think this is a good time to do kind of a recap, just so, because we're throwing different characters in the mix, and we're talking about different scenarios. So let me just make sure that everybody is clear on what's going on here. So your mom, you guys are originally from Texas, right?
Yes.
And your mom is as well, but her fiance Kurt, he got a job up there in South Fork, and he convinced your mom to move up there. And so she went, and she's been up. How long has she been up there in Colorado?
Since August.
Yeah, she's been there since August. So they've been there for a while. I mean, enough to know, you know, South Fork area.
Right. Okay. So they've been there. So she's been there since August, and they've been staying at the Rainbow Lodge, right? Which is this right here, these little cabins, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. And so then the owner decided, well, I'm going to sell this and kick everybody out and start fresh. So Kurt and your mom, who was staying together in one of these cabins, they had to find a new place to go live. And where was that place? Where did they find?
They actually hadn't found that yet. So they had an idea of either, you know, if they couldn't find something else, since there's not a lot of living, you know, the area, so it's just not a lot to rent or anything, then they were just going to come back to Texas. You know, and even with,
at Jeff's.
Yeah, but Kurt had an idea of staying at Jeff's. Of course, Jeff and Donna, the two friends that Kurt came up here to work for, or came up there to work for, they were a couple, and they were a couple that my mom just didn't really feel comfortable around or didn't really feel friends with, and so she wasn't planning on ever going to move in with them. They were just in a kind of a rough situation. But her plan is if they didn't find something for themselves, that she wanted them to go back to Texas. But she didn't have plans to go, even with the drama and the chaos, she still didn't have plans to go to Texas by herself. And they were still trying to work that out.
All right. So let's get caught up here. So Jeff and Donna say, well, if you guys can't find anything else, you guys are welcome to come stay in our trailer with us. But your mom really wasn't comfortable with that. And
they didn't want her there.
Yeah. Yeah. And so your mom, she's in here cleaning out the cabin and, you know, cleaning it up, getting it ready to go, getting ready to move out. And she finds out about an affair that's taken place with her fiance, with this person named Jennifer. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And so when Megan talked to her, it was right before she went to approach this Jennifer, this mistress, correct?
Correct. And she did have proof of this.
What was that proof?
She had pictures that she had found that were personally sent to Kurt. And then I guess everybody else sort of knew about it because my mom had come to visit us for a week. And I don't know if it started before she came to visit or after, but it seemed like people in the town, it's a small town, and they kind of knew. And so when my mom found out for herself, I guess they didn't really see a reason to keep it a secret either.
So our mom sent me these nude pictures the night before she went missing.
And she sent those pictures to people that she really feels safe with, really feels comfortable with, you know, which was only a few people, but she sent them to a friend of hers that's like a father figure that she, you know, and then she wanted each of those people to save them because she probably needed to delete them off her phone or whatever. But she was trying to get it to other people so that they would know what was going on.
Okay, I got you. Okay, so I think everybody's up to speed now. So now the question that I have is, So Jennifer had an ex-husband somewhere else, but she also had this boyfriend that was incarcerated in jail or prison, correct? And
Yes.
and he was being released this same day that your mom went missing, the same day that your mother was going to approach Jennifer. Is that correct?
She planned to check her husband out of that facility. So apparently the way I understood it from the chief of police in South Fork is that in the facility her husband is in, you can check people in and out, but you have to plan in advance for it.
It's not like a normal prison.
Planned to go there and check
Like
him out that day.
Yeah, some sort of, yeah.
And then drop him back off, I guess, in the evening or whatever time. We have not confirmed that. None of that has been confirmed.
Possibly even a halfway house type situation or something like that. But it's obviously somewhere where you can just, come and go maybe every so often.
Right.
But the point is like he was supposed to come out to help her move. But from Megan's information, she had already moved most of her stuff the day or so before. So we had all these details. And then apparently she wasn't even, as far as we know, seen going back to the cabin moving her stuff. So what was she moving?
And we know that she did not. She went to work, I guess, for maybe a little bit that morning. Our mother disappeared, but she did not return to work. So where was she? Where was her husband? Why did she check him out? And where did they go?
Right. That's the question that needs to be answered right there.
Yeah. And then she ends up moving to, I guess, a city where another ex-husband, lives. At first, we were told that she may have been staying with him since she had to find somewhere to live. And then we found out later that either that was a short thing or she just, ended up getting another hotel to stay in.
Okay. So thank you. Thank you to Megan Butler, who told us that it's called community corrections. So
yeah, Megan Butler is the lodge owner. So
okay, all right, and Megan's here, and she also said that your mother sent her these pictures a week prior, or found out a week prior. So thank you. Go ahead, Megan.
When I spoke to Megan Butler, she told me, because I asked her, right off the bat, did mom ever do anything with those pictures, or did she plan to? And Megan Butler said, yeah, she did. She posted them on Facebook and tagged Jennifer in them, and they were taken down off of Facebook. And she said that was, I guess, a week before my mom went missing.
And yes, Jennifer did live in the cabins too.
Okay, so did your mom travel back to Texas for Christmas or anything like that?
No, Megan had traveled there and stayed there for a week with her son. And my mom planned to come to Texas actually last month in January to come and spend it with me and my kids. And then, Megan again, because she'd be back. So she didn't get a chance to do that.
Yeah, okay. I was up there for Christmas with my son, and nothing with my mom seemed out of the ordinary. She was always a Gigi. Like that's what she is. All of her grandkids are just completely in awe of her because her entire life was dedicated to her fiance Kurt or dedicated to her grandbabies. And when I pulled up there for Christmas, she ran outside in freezing temps, snowing, and was crying because we were pulling up. That's how much we meant to her. That's how much her family meant to her. And we had a blast down there. I mean, she never liked going out by herself. I finally got her out of the cabin. We went down a little hiking trail. We went to Pagosa. Everything. I mean, it was honestly the best Christmas I've ever had. And nothing with her demeanor was out of the ordinary. She had suspicions about Jennifer at the time, and we had talked about it on and off, but she just kept telling me I'm going to be okay. And with the way Megan Butler described her after she confirmed of the nude pictures that Jennifer had sent, and Megan's words, she said our mom was just done. It's not that she was completely like pissed off or rage, full of rage or anything. She was just done. Like, she's reached that level where she didn't want to be there. She's finding out that her fiance is having this affair, and she was tired of just pushing things away. That's how Megan described her.
Okay. So is your mom, is she the real confrontational type? How do you, knowing your mom as well as you do, how do you picture her approaching Jennifer? Was it in a very, aggressive way, or what was it, you think?
I would say she's on a typical, like, day to day on the norm, very introverted feeling, until you completely introvert that too long and a disaster happens. So yeah, I would say that by the time that she held that in for a good week and then, tried doing stuff that got taken down or whatever, she probably, wanted to go confront her, and not in the prettiest way, and I told the cops that too, because it's not like, we're not still human. And I was surprised she was able to keep it in that long, with that type of situation. But she tried to deal with it. She tried to work on it. And then she probably just wanted to leave and come back to Texas, and figured, well, might as well get it all, on the table now, and make sure everybody knows how she feels, because they should have.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. I kind of wondered, how that conversation went down. If there was probably a physical fight that ensued. Is she a fighter? I mean, has she been in many fights, things like that? Would she be going over there, approaching her with the idea of maybe, like kicking her butt type of thing?
I personally don't think she would go over there to start a fight, but I think she would have finished it if Jennifer would have responded in that type of way.
Yeah.
And I think that's why she was kind of uncertain of what was going to happen when I got off the phone with her, because she knew she was probably going to go confront her, and she knew that, I'm sure if Jennifer was going to do something, she probably would have fought her back. I know she would have.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because it makes sense. It makes sense why she would say she loved me in that almost type of guilty conscience way, like I'm going to go do something.
Well, and she wouldn't have, she wouldn't have let people try to make her feel like she was the stupid one anymore either, because she may think that herself for a while and try to like, oh, I'm just making it up. Maybe they're right or whatever. And then eventually, with how my mom was, she's going to pull out the truth, and she's going to know what that is. And she's going to make sure everybody else knows what that is too, and if they tried to stand there and like deny her and not listen to her and, say that she was crazy or anything like that, yeah, she probably would have gotten pretty upset,
Okay. So, all right. So, it's one thing to have a person disappear, especially in Colorado, and people that my subscribers know, we talk about this a lot. With the terrain in southern Colorado, it's easy for a person to disappear up there, but it's a lot harder for a little blue car to disappear. Has law enforcement, have you guys been in touch with CBI, or is it just the local like sheriff's department? Have you guys had any ground support where you've had helicopters that have flown over the forest looking for her car? Any of those type of things?
Well, to be honest, it wasn't until 2 weeks later, whenever we showed up physically in person, that really anything got started. And yes, CBI was on the case. I think they at least had already worked on talking to people that they knew were in the situation, trying to get information from people. But we went around like every single town out there and got every gas station in that mile radius's information to get the phones checked or the cameras checked and everything else. But as to answer any of your questions, no, they didn't do anything until we came down there 2 weeks later.
And there has still not been any helicopters.
Yeah.
There has not been any air flight.
They told us that they were going to go up in flight, but like we said, this by that point it had been 3 weeks later, maybe 3.5 weeks later, that They said that they were going to do that. They're still, I guess, questioning people and working on it. The CBI, the South Fork doesn't really have much, police force and stuff there. So we wouldn't have even been this far if they wouldn't have called CBI.
Right.
But we pretty much did everything and then gave them a list of things that we needed help with because there was nothing being done, and we pushed and pushed and pushed for something to get done. Like one camera getting checked was a pain in the what. So I mean, but we weren't going to stop until that happened.
Sarah, I want to say I commend you and your sister for doing what you're doing, for you guys getting out there and traveling. What was it, through like 2 or 3 states to get out there and look for your mom?
Yeah,
and,
probably 6 hours a day, if not, at least that first time. The second time, we didn't drive out as far because we started realizing more and more that the car possibly never even left there. But that first time, yeah, we were driving from Colorado to New Mexico to the, just that entire area, back and forth, tracking coordinates and mapping out exactly what the police gave us, and no other police force or anybody had been out there exactly where the coordinates were yet until we actually went and talked to the specific police force in that area 2 weeks later.
Yeah. Well, good for you guys. That's great to see you guys out there looking for your mom. I truly commend you guys for that. And, sometimes we feel like our sense of urgency is much greater than the police's sense of urgency, but you got to realize they got protocols and things that they have to go through as well. But hopefully, now that CBI is involved, the ball will really get rolling here.
Yeah, well, they've been involved since the first week. It's just that they weren't necessarily aware of how serious the situation was, I guess. And none of the other police force in the areas were really notified by phone call or anything. So even the 2 towns over, and even the next town over, wasn't aware of the situation until we went up to the cops there, or gave them flyers and made them aware.
Right.
Yeah, nobody had any idea to look for this vehicle until weeks after the fact. And also, I do want to mention the reason why CBI got involved is because our mom's fiance, Kurt, kept pressing Corporal Hart at the South Fork Police Department to get somebody else involved because they weren't getting anywhere. They weren't doing anything. They were completely above their heads.
So he's the one who reported. Kurt is the one who reported her missing, and Kurt is the one who pushed for CBI, and he went up there every single day asking them to bring CBI in. And this is by no means to, down the police. We know all about the protocols and everything by now. It's just more like we've seen it, we've been through it, and we know how it goes. And there was a lot that could have been done, but we're past that. But this is exactly what happened, and we're not done right in the beginning, but we are glad that they are working really hard now and trying to put whatever they can together.
Okay, I'm going to shift gears here real quick, Sarah, because I want to get further down this story here so after she went missing, we don't know if she went left towards Alamosa or if she went right back over Wolf Creek Pass and ended up back in Pagosa Springs. We don't know where she went. But we do have a phone ping that's about 44 miles. Well, basically, it's between Pagosa Springs and Dulce, New Mexico, correct?
Well, we ended up getting more confirmation about the, I guess, like ping or whatever. They were actually able to get warrants and get into her phone further. And the coordinates that I was talking about that we searched and stuff like that, that was actually exactly almost where the phone went out. And it was closer to in between Dulce and Navajo City. So that's like almost 3 hours away from South Fork is the time that we mapped it at. And then we walked those grounds, and there is not a gas station within an hour or so in that area. And there's not anything you can stop at. There's no convenience store. It is out in the middle of nowhere in Native American reservation land. And you would have to know to get gas if you were to even travel past Dulce, or even to Dulce, because there's not really a gas station in between Pagosa and there either. And we almost ran out of gas ourselves because we didn't know it was going to be that far. So we kind of really got the feeling. But yeah, we did map it, and it was even further off out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, I know exactly where you're talking about. And what I find interesting is if somebody was trying to get away or to hide, that would be the exact spot where I would guess they would go, because if they went the other direction, there's a lot of little towns through there that have businesses, that have security cameras, things like that. But out that way, it's like they avoided all the businesses, whoever it was. So I want to ask you though, once you guys got out there to Native American land, what was the response? Were you guys able to go around and look for, your mom's car?
Immediate. The first time. I mean, honestly, it gets me fired up because we've had a couple comments, and to be honest, those people helped us more than anything that we had done in the past 2 weeks. They got in their Jeeps, they got in their trucks, and all they had to have was the story, which they had not been told. So as soon as we got down there, we had about, 10, 15, whatever, from that county, I guess the state police guy that's for that county.
We had the sheriff from Rio Arriba, Epling, we had Fish and Game Warden, we had the oil field patrol people, we had volunteers from the Indian reservation. We went up and down the J roads. We checked the oil containers and stuff.
Yeah, and since it was reservation land, they had to shadow us, but we were actually able to physically go with them. And one of the days, Kurt actually was with us and took us in his truck because we had to rent a car. But they drove up even on all their private land, didn't question anything else, only needed to hear the story and the details of that, because I guess they had gotten a fax or something of the flyer, the first one that was made. But other than that, they didn't really know anything that was going on. And so when we got there, that was the same day that the state police were finally actually going to notify them to look for the car. And that was, again, 2 weeks later. But they jumped on it. They helped and searched. We didn't find anything. And they said they were going to continue to search that whole next day. And they did. And so did the community. The people over there that are not police force were hopping in their Jeeps and cars and we're going along with them.
ATVs and, side-by-sides and
checking
drones they could
checking from Pagosa. There was people that were from Pagosa that also came out and met us out there. And they checked from Pagosa, all those back roads and all those kind of dangerous roads with their side-by-sides they were able to take out from Pagosa all the way up until the New Mexico border as well. So that was a good help out there.
That's wonderful to hear. I'm really glad that you guys got that response. So you guys weren't able to turn anything up as of yet though, huh?
No.
Which is why we are, kind of more leaning towards, we know for sure our mom never went out there, regardless of whether we have proof or not. We know for sure our mom did not drive 2.5 hours out in the middle of nowhere
with her phone dead. Mm-mm.
Right. So, and with the car not being seen, regardless or not if the cameras were able to reach it or not, the thing is that car was flagged, and going through Bloomfield, any of those gas stations, it just gets more populated. That car would have shown up on a police scan, which is one of the reasons why we're kind of leaning more towards that car didn't go out there. Maybe her phone did, but we don't think her car did.
And she wouldn't have gone out there in her own will without having her phone charged. She always had a charger in her car. We've told this to the cops a million times because, we wanted them to understand her routines, her just the way she was very predictable. And so she would always come to our house and charge her stuff, make sure her phone was all the way on, and make sure she had a charger in her car because she knew she was going to be driving. Those things are important to know, whenever you're looking for a missing person. So
absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, Sarah and Megan, what I'd like to do now, if you guys don't mind, just open it up to some questions from
Yeah.
our viewers and our subscribers here. I'm going to put this one up here first from Kellen Strauss, the Draper Brother channel, top-notch guys doing great things. Thank you, Kellen. As you might know or may not know, Sarah and Megan, our channel used to be called the Draper Brothers. It was my brother and myself. And so if you see the Draper Brothers, it's my brother Dusty and I. We started working together, and then now he's doing his own channel, and I'm doing I'm trying to get this one back up to speed. We've had some technical difficulties, but we're trying to get it back up to speed here though. So we're grateful that you guys reached out, and we're happy that we can help you guys. We know a lot of people in Southern Colorado because we were helping with another case up there in Salida.
Yeah.
And we still are. And so you've got a great group of people here that'll do whatever they can to help you guys. So I feel like you guys are in the right spot here. So
yeah, we appreciate it a lot. So it's good to have that.
No worries, man. We'll be here every step of the way for you. So Glam Dolly, the lack of phone or bank activity is concerning. Another thing that I heard earlier today was that she smoked a pack a day?
Oh yeah.
She's a smoker.
Pack a day and probably a Sprite every time, So yeah, she would definitely have to have, her cigarettes and her Sprite.
Okay. So here's a good question. I know a lot of other people are going to have this too, so I'm going to put it up here. Cindy, aka Skinny, thank you. And it says, have you been able to speak with this Jennifer person?
Have we had the chance? Yes. Have we? No. Because when we went down this last time, like I said, we stayed around South Fork. We were honestly trying to, talk to a little bit more people there, but we didn't really feel comfortable with talking to her yet because we don't really know her. And we know that the cops had talked to her a lot too. And she sounded like to them that she was completely clear and she was being honest with them about everything. And I'm like, well, that kind of makes it more suspicious to me. So
yeah, right.
We kind of wanted to wait on that and see, where this takes them. We are trying to, put that trust in them too. So we don't really want to mess up what they have going either. So we've been kind of cautious towards some of those things.
Okay. Thank you. That was a great question. Here's a $5 donation from our good friend Gonzo. He says, we just got back from San Francisco I guess SF and Monte Vista. Pardon me?
I think it meant South Fork. Maybe.
Oh, South Fork. Oh, okay. He got back from South Fork and Monte Vista. AK has been tearing his Jeep up, boots on the ground. I just left. Okay. So,
yeah.
These guys are terrific. I don't know if you've had a chance to meet Gonzo and AK yet. Okay,
yeah,
cool.
We've been working with them for a couple weeks or so now. He's been out there talking to people, talked to the church that my mom went to. He's kind of tried to just anybody that we've kind of given him names of, and then areas and stuff like that. He's taken his I'm like losing my words. The things that fly around.
His drone.
I'm just tired.
No, it's totally understandable.
But yeah, he's been actually working with us and giving us as much information that he can. So that's been really awesome.
Yeah, those guys are great. Thank you, Gonzo. Is Megan trying to say something?
Yeah. Hello. What are you saying, Megan?
Yeah. Who is this Denise? All they commented was good liars.
Yeah, there's going to be some of those people on here.
I know, but
keep it coming.
It could lead to something. Is she from there?
No, but she could be friends with somebody and is watching it. I don't know. Let's just keep rolling.
Okay, there was a question here from Copperhead Recording Studio. Is there any news coverage from local radio, television willing to do an interview? Have you guys had a chance to do any of that?
That first week, actually, like we started calling around, like everywhere, and the Pagosa local news was able to do something and put it on their page. We're kind of confused as to why there's all these other women on the news and why they haven't tried to put our mom on the news. But
we've been trying.
We have
reached out to
emailed and
multiple
we've done
news-
all kinds of stuff. So
we've been trying to reach out to multiple news stations and get this broadcasted on major news, TV news stations, but we're not having much luck. So if
And-
there's anybody out
yeah.
there that can help us with that, that would be amazing.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, well, this is a good starting point right here, reaching out to YouTubers and social media, Facebook, all that kind of stuff. And people will start getting the word out to you and it'll start getting momentum. But I can tell, and I don't even know you guys that well yet, but I can tell you guys have a fire under you. And I have no doubt that you're going to get this story out there. You just got to sometimes, take a deep breath and just kind of let things unfold, and
if I could just
happen.
say something on that to the people that are watching, we have done a lot of these things, and we know that a lot of people are trying to give us advice and stuff like that, and it is super helpful. But we've been doing this for like 3-4, I don't even know, I'm losing track, weeks straight. And if there's like connections or stuff that y'all have or whatever that y'all can, help by talking to them, for us too. Because we do have a lot of passion. We do have a lot of fire. We're fighters. My sister and I have been that way, but it's exhausting. And anybody who's had to do this before, like I am like beyond a rude person, but it's hard. And I get tired of like just having to, I guess, get that those same questions, and then you just don't know what to do with that. We haven't even been able to grieve yet because we've been fighting the whole time.
Right.
So we do
right.
appreciate that. We're grateful for all the help, but I just needed to express that because we're also working with the authorities. We're the only ones doing anything with them, other than all the people that are starting to come on and help and do media stuff.
Well, good. That's good on you. And like I was telling Megan earlier today when we had our little meeting, it's good to just get the word out there like you guys are doing tonight and put it in the community because it'll go into the Reddit boards, it'll go into web sleuths, other creators. I see a bunch of the creators here tonight that are joining us that are also probably going to start doing their own stories or their own lives and things like that. So this will start to get some momentum. I'm also friends with Lauren Scharf. I did speak with her last week, and we're in contact with each other. She's from Fox 21 News out of Colorado Springs. I can talk to her about doing it. Getting a story put out. Here's Copperhead Recordings again. Do me a favor, send me the best info you have, and I will contact the newspaper and see if they can print an article. So this is a perfect example of what I'm talking about right here.
Yeah. That's a lot. Really anything's helpful, but stuff like that, it's like we can get that all together, and give that to people. I think it's just like when we're contacting, it's like two people trying to run a phone line of, working at Apple.
Honestly, we really want, a lot of people are aware of the story, but all of these people, for the most part, they don't know our mom, and we want her to be seen. This isn't just a vessel. This wasn't just somebody that was, just someone just staying in a cabin somewhere. This is someone that was so important to us, as I'm sure a lot of people understand, but maybe not to the extent of us, because we don't have a large family. Our mom is pretty much all we have. She was the main caregiver for our grandbabies. She got me through college. She was the rock in our family, and without her, it's hard to keep it together. So she means a lot to us, and we want her back. We want answers, and we want the public to know that she was a good person. All she wanted was a home. Even when she was down in Colorado, she tried to create that. She tried to start going to a local church. She was very much a Christian. She was, she thrived and strived to do better. And everybody and everything around her that unfortunately she was placed into by other people's choices has caused and led up to this. And somebody out there knows something that they're not saying.
Yeah.
Well, let me tell you something, Megan. There's not one person in here in this chat room or anywhere else that's perfect. None of us are perfect.
Yeah.
And we all have our things, and we care about your mom. We don't even know her. I mean, we're just getting to know who she is and what she's about. But I can guarantee you one thing: these people care. They care about your mom, and they will do whatever they can to help you guys. So,
thank y'all. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Christine Taylor, too. That was a good comment there.
Is it this one right here? Yep. Marlena is a good mom. I can tell by who she raised. Absolutely. It's a reflection of her. So
I think it just gets hard when we're so much talking about the case and we never really get to tell people about her. Yeah. It's almost like we forget that because the case is what we're trying to figure out too.
We're so busy trying to just find her and get answers that we forget to even take time to really connect emotionally to her, because we're just trying to fight, trying to keep going.
Yeah.
And
well, I totally understand that. And you guys have my word and my promise that I'll do whatever I can to help you. You know, I have a platform here. It's not the biggest platform in the world. You know, I'm not like CNN or Fox News or anything like that, but I do have a small platform that I'm willing to share with you guys anytime you need it. All you got to do is send me a text, reach out to me. I'll also join in with Gonzo and Ak and those guys that put their boots on the ground. I would love to go back up to Colorado. We got some unfinished business up there that we're still taking care of. And so, you know, and actually going through Wolf Creek Pass and South Fork and all that is on my way to Salida. So it would be a natural, I wouldn't even have to go out of my way to go and help you guys in any way that I can. So
that's awesome.
Just let us know. Okay. Do you guys have anything else you'd like to share before we wrap this up here tonight?
Megan, did you have anything?
Honestly, I just want to say, thank you to everyone who has even been listening to us, who's following us. Please don't stop. Please continue to help us. We do have a GoFundMe set up. You can look us up on Facebook and donate. We're trying to continue to make trips there so we can, obviously keep this going on our part. But I also just want to say that, prayers do help. And I hope that whoever's involved in this can, God can just soften their heart and they can come to love somebody knows something. And I really hope that the message just gets louder and louder to where they can't drown it out anymore and they have to say something.
Yep. Like I was telling you earlier, Megan, the truth always rises to the top. You guys just got to stay diligent. So
yeah. I guess for me, I just want to say thank y'all again for being here and taking the time to listen. I actually stay online. I do a lot of stuff on here, videos and, the whole social media stuff like that. And I've been able to make better friends, honestly, in some ways through that family, through that in different communities. And so I do believe in people out there, whether I've seen them face to face or not, that they're able to care just as much as I do for someone that I don't know, and that is possible. And it's really comforting with some of the stuff that we've gone through to see that, from humanity, from the people supporting and making stuff and making flyers and just continuously being there to support us. So we appreciate that. No
worries. Sarah, Megan, thank you guys so much for coming on tonight, sharing your story. We wish you guys all the best. Hang in there. If you guys need anything, just let us know. Okay.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Your time.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll be in touch with you guys. Okay.
All right. Thank you, man.
Bye-bye.
Talk to you later.
All right, everybody. Well, I just wanted to get on here briefly in closing to let everybody know how much I appreciate you guys. Thank you for being here tonight. I didn't want to post a a little ad on YouTube about this live because I wasn't sure if I was going to have technical difficulties. And so I'm grateful that we were able to pull that off tonight without any major technical difficulties. But I'm glad that they were able to come on here and to share the story. I hope it made sense. I tried to, go back and clarify different points that maybe were a little confusing to people. So if you have any questions, you can email me, reach out to me. We'll do whatever we can to continue to try to find Marlena and her, her car, any clues that we can to, find her or find justice for her or whatever the situation may be. It's good to see you guys again. It's really refreshing to be in here. Autumn, thank you. It's good to see you. It's nice to see some new names. I see some new names here, but I also see some of my old friends. I want to thank you guys for sticking with me as we've gone through some changes, and with Dusty starting his own channel and then me not having the expertise with the technology side. I'm learning, I'm growing, and it's actually been great because it's helping me to push myself and get better at this stuff. So we're going to continue to roll stuff out. I got some good stuff in the works. But anyway, I want to say thank you guys. I hope you all have a wonderful night, and please join us for the next live. And I'll make sure I give you guys more of a heads up next time. So my love, my blessings, especially to all you lovers tonight on Valentine's Day. I hope you guys all had a great day and felt lots of love from your significant other. If you're like me and you don't have a significant other, I hope you felt love in other ways from your kids, grandkids, family members, whatever the case may be. So I'm offering, and if you didn't get any love from anybody, then take it from me. I'm giving you guys love. Hope you all have a wonderful night. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.